Okay, welcome to the latest in our interview series, Unleashed. So, it basically, I'm here with, well, to me, Liverpool legends. Ogun, guys, can you introduce yourselves?
Hi Ian, I'm Danny. I'm the drummer from Ogun.
Hi Ian, I'm Neil and I'm the guitarist from Ogun.
So, I mean, I know it's a bit strange me sitting here and talking to you guys, and the first thing I say is the word legend. Now, the reason why I use that is because I do remember you guys from back in the day when you started out and the Liverpool scene as it was. Now, obviously, I've got a lot less hair, um, and some of that's gone grey. But first of all, I'm over the moon to have you back as a thrash fan. Seeing good thrash coming from Liverpool. I know there is Reaper are coming out from the Devil's Henchmen and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
You guys are where it's at, and it's where it was at when I was a bit younger. So just tell us a bit about getting the guys back together and where you feel you are now.
Sure, thanks Ian. Well, thank you very much, by the way. Very flattering. Yeah, well, to try and chop a novel down to a short paragraph, basically, Ogun started roughly about 21, 22 years ago. I wasn't originally the drummer for the band. We originally started with a guy called Richie, and we had the front man of the band was Paul Charnock. And we went through various lineup changes over the years, did loads and loads of gigs, played some big festivals, did some support slots in the academy, things like that. And around about, I think it was December 2008, I think we called it a day. Things were just going quiet. Things just weren't aligned right. So we were just, made the decision to call it a day there. And then fast forward 14 years later, quite literally just out of the pandemic, out of the lockdown, me and Andy were rehearsing with another band together. We were working with at the time, and we just said, let's just do it. Let's just finally, we've been mulling it over for years. It's something that never really left us. We always really wanted to do it. But things just either weren't aligned or things just kept getting in the way. And then ultimately around that time, we just decided, right, the time is right. We're going to, and it really just started as quite a relaxed thing. It just, we thought we would just do an album because we never got really a solid album together back when we were together originally. So we just decided, we'll do an album, maybe a couple of gigs for a laugh. And then we announced our first gig back and that we were doing things. We were getting things started up. We got Joe Mortimer involved from Colplesis and Crepitation. He's a well-known guy on the scene. And we got Neil involved as well because I was working with Neil in another band, a Motorhead tribute band, in fact, called Stone Deaf Forever. And we just started ploughing in the work, getting songs up to scratch, remembering how to play most of them because me and Andy had not touched them in about 14 years. And yeah, it just got to a point where we booked ourselves a comeback kind of show in the North Shore Troubadour in June in 2022, was it? I think.
Yeah, 2022.
Yeah, 2022. And it was an absolute blast of a show. All of our old friends, all of our old crowd turned up, which I think was a bit of a culture shock to Neil, because he was like the new guitarist in the band, and I think he felt the impact, of that comeback show, and how much love and support we still had after all these years, which is crazy to think. We never expected that at all, and then really from there, it's just been getting better and better and better, just like nothing we could have imagined.
So Neil, as you were going into the band, how did it feel stepping into that? And it's not like joining a new band as is. You've obviously there's a history there, and you're stepping into it.
Well, to be honest, I didn't really know that much of the history, other than a few things that Danny had mentioned and Andy had mentioned about being in this band Ogun, and I wasn't really on the scene at the time when they were, first doing gigs and stuff like that. I wasn't really doing that many gigs in Liverpool. The gigs I was doing at the time were kind of further outside of Liverpool, so I didn't really know that much about Ogun, the first incarnation, anyway. But as Danny mentioned, we were playing in a band together, the Motorhead tribute, Stone Deaf Forever. And that kind of snowballed into another band, Rockzilla, that me and Danny and Andy play in. And we were rehearsing for that. And in between little breaks, you'd go out and get a coffee. And I'd come back in and there's Andy and Danny playing these riffs. And I'm thinking, is this a song on our set list that we're playing? And it's like, oh, no, this is from Ogun. I was like, oh, that's pretty good, that. So then to chatting away, oh, it'd be great to get this, get Ogun back together. And at this time, I'm just kind of staying out of the conversation because they haven't mentioned do you want to join or anything like that at this point. But, playing with Danny in two bands and playing with Andy and Rockzilla, it's quite comfortable playing with them. Danny's a fantastic drummer. Andy, great guitar player, great singer. So when they finally started getting things together, they finally asked me, do you want to be in the band? And I was like, yes. Why not? This sounds good. Yeah. Well, yeah, absolutely. Because it was good, good fun playing with Danny and these other bands. So yeah, it seemed like the right thing to do.
So how did Joe come about on the bass?
Well, that was kind of like very early on. Me and Andy, it's like Neil explained, we were rehearsing and we'd joke around, with riffs and things, and Andy was, me and Andy had made this decision to, we'll give it a go, we'll bring it back. We spoke with former members, the bands who were previously with us, and they'd made the decision not to continue with it, not to come back to it, which is absolutely fine. That was just we absolutely respect their feelings about that. So we realised straight off, well, it's literally me and Andy. We need to basically make up the rest of the members now. And back, I'd say around 14, when we were playing our last kind of run of gigs, Joe Mortimer was actually playing bass. He was filling in for us up until the end. And then, so the natural thing for us to do first was to ask him and get him on board. And he very happily accepted, joined the band, and we got into it, that got the ball rolling. The three of us started rehearsing, and then very shortly after that, we got Neil involved, which, has just worked out fantastically. Neil's a fantastic guitarist. I don't think we'd have had anybody else lined up. It was definitely, no-brainer for us.
So who's coming in to replace him?
So we've got Lewis, my friend Lewis Smith. We've been good friends for most of our lives. School, high school, college. We actually were in a Corn tribute band together quite a few moons ago. So we've always kept in touch. We've worked, touch base every now and again. And he is just a ridiculous bass player. So we were just like, well, that slot's now available. So let's ask Lou. And he, we're very lucky. He was in a position to do it and jumped on the opportunity. So that was worked out great.
So fast forward now, obviously, talk a bit about your history and stuff like that. New album,
yes,
new songs. What's the plan?
We're still working that out.
I think we'd love to know the answer to that. We've the album, we started recording the album about 2 years ago. It's taken it's been a hard graft. We wanted to make it sound as good and as big as humanly possible. Because I think one of the regrets I have, particularly of when we were originally together all those years ago, is that we never recorded a solid album. And because we were always really focused on gigs, doing as many gigs as we could and playing live. And we did record an EP. Ogun did record a couple of little bits before I joined the band. But we recorded like an EP, and it was really just kind of like a bedroom EP, really. It wasn't really particularly, didn't come out great. So the first objective when me and Andy had made the decision to bring Ogun back was we were going to record an album. And in actual fact, at first, we when we were discussing it, we were just going to do it, the two of us. We were just going to record the whole thing between the two of us, which, you know, in hindsight is an absolutely insane idea, because it never would have, God knows how it would have come out. But as things have developed, as things have moved on, we've got Joe involved and Neil involved. We just started working, you know, on this album, and we've really stuck our teeth into it, really worked very, very hard on it, and just with the intention of making it sound as big as humanly possible, because we didn't just want to rush it and throw together something that anyone could whip up in a room in a matter of weeks. We wanted it to sound as good as we could possibly manage, and we're very proud of what we've achieved with it. We think it sounds absolutely excellent, and we are dying for people to hear it.
We've taken our time a little bit because, of course, we've had to fit it into our normal lives as well. And
of course, yeah.
Jobs of teaching music and doing gigs and work life and family life and all of that. So, that, as Danny was saying, we didn't want to rush it, but we had to try and fit it into all of these ongoing things, you know, life as it happens. But the end product, we're all extremely proud of it and happy with it. But we're just taking our time a little bit on what our next move is. We don't want to just throw it out there just yet. So we're just mulling over what our next move is, really.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So no exclusive for us then, no.
Not as of yet, aggressively. I mean, it is kind of the main topic of discussion now for us, really. We've got some excellent gigs coming up this year, but we're really kind of focusing on that being the next, you know, they're the next steps we're taking. So it's hopefully going to be very, very soon. We're going to start bringing stuff out. So yeah.
Fantastic. So with regards to the album, now obviously I'm massive thrash fan. Where are you drawing your influences from?
Oh well, I mean, how long have you got? I mean, we are within our songs there's a lot of nods to classic and modern thrash, you know, so anywhere from, you know, Metallica to, you know, more modern metal bands, you know, it's just a real kind of mix of everything. We've always been very heavy on melody, always been very melody driven, you know, to give it that extra edge and to, you know, give it that extra bit of catchiness as well. But while keeping it, you know, fast and aggressive. So that's been the mainstay of our sound, really. And the album will definitely give you all of that. It hopefully won't leave you unsatisfied.
Yeah. We're not going to hear Stone Deaf Forever on the album then, no?
We've not slid in any Ace of Spades or anything like that. No, sadly not.
I think there's possibly a hint of Motorhead in a couple of things, but it's much more, you know, thrash driven, melody guitars, you know, all the good stuff.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, there's two bands that every band in metal have a tiny bit with them, and it's Motorhead and Iron Maiden. So, you know, you're gonna get some of that everywhere anyway, aren't you? So, you know, we'll expect a bit of that. So we're not just Pentre Fest, obviously that's what we want to talk about tonight as well. But you got some other shows coming up. Obviously, myself and Fozzy are going to be in at the Birkenhead one with that. But do you want to tell us about some of your other shows?
Sure, yeah. So we've got about a week after Pentre Fest, we're supporting Evile. We're actually opening up for Evile in the district in Liverpool. I think that's the 29th.
It is indeed.
Yeah, and then we've
Who else
got.
is playing that show?
Really should have checked these dates before joining the interview. We've got a smattering of gigs across the year, and we've got one in Northwich coming up. I think that's in June, 21st of June. I think. I'm waiting for Neil to confirm.
Sorry, mate.
I'm hoping he's kind of scrolling while I'm going through. We've got quite a few gigs listed around. We're playing Thrash Chester in November as well, which we're really excited about as well. That's one we've been wanting to do. Really, it's been on the list of places since we reformed. So we're excited about that as well. But I think for us at the moment, Pentre Fest is one that we're really, really excited about doing. We've never ventured up to Wales and played there, so it's that's something we're really excited to do. As one of the things that really back in the day, we were all younger then, kind of wet behind the ears, really. We didn't really go too far afield from Liverpool. So we developed quite a strong following in Liverpool, and only really did odd occasional gigs outside of Liverpool. So it's kind of like that's another very important thing to us right now is to venture out and start playing some shows. We did play in London at the end of last year, the year before, sorry, and that was excellent. That went down well. Picked up a couple of new faces there as well. Everyone interested in us, so yeah, we're really excited for Pentre Fest, definitely.
What was the London show then? Where was that, and who was it with?
That was in Camden. I forget the name of the venue. It was an all day. It was actually an extreme metal gig, so it was us. We were worried we were going to sound like ABBA in comparison. All the other bands were death metal bands, extreme metal. But to be honest, we just we got in there, played the best we could. We got an excellent response. Everyone was so nice, so kind, to us, and the other bands were incredible. Basically just sounded like us, but sped up by 200 beats per minute. But it was incredible. First time I've played anywhere in London as well, so that was an experience. It's been interesting.
What can we expect then from the Pentre Fest show?
Do you want to take this one, Neil, or do you want me to?
Well, what to expect? Heavy thrash, melody guitars, something to bang your head to, amazing drums, thumping bass, Andy singing beautifully. I had to say that, otherwise he'll kill me, won't he? Aggressively, Andy singing aggressively. It's we're looking forward to it. We've not long finished the album. We're all pumped up to do gigs and get ready to at some point this year bring the album out. So we're just kind of really getting the gigs under our belt, really. Looking forward to it. Danny, over to you.
Well, basically, we've certainly got a lot of mileage in terms of gigs. Like from back in the day, we always kind of, that was our main focus, performing and making it as big and as loud and as aggressive as possible. So when we get to Pentre Fest, we're a little extra charged, I think, because we've been working on this album so much and kind of watering down the gigs a little bit. I think we're a little bit extra charged now. So as we get into Pentre Fest, we're just going to let it all out. I think we're just going to absolutely go for it and not hold back. All right, so we're Ogun. If you go on our Facebook page, you'll find links to Linktree there to our Bandcamp, where you can purchase our merchandise. We've got some t-shirts, we've got some beanie hats, some patches, things like that. Prices are all online. You can order online or come to the show and buy in person. So yeah, hope to see you. We hope to see you at the gig. And yeah, rock on, guys.
Once again, thanks for giving us your time, gents. Sorry Fozzy hasn't been able to join us, but he's had some gremlins. But he will be back with some of the other interviews which we'll be doing in the the build up to Pentre Fest. Guys, thank you very much. We'll see you on.
Thank you, Ian.
Good night.
Cheers, mate.
See you.
Here's a clip of us live from our last show in preparation for Pentre Fest.